Hey, how is everyone? We're doing okay here. It is the 1st of September and we still have tomatoes going strong in the garden. I've made a lot of juice and made some salsa, and I'm going to make another batch of juice today. Everybody does things a little differently, and the way I do my juice, I have no idea how I came up with the idea, but for me it is the only way I'll ever do it again. And I've also got my mother doing this as well. Okay, I've already washed my tomatoes. I'm going to cut it down the center, cut out the core of that one. If there's any bad spots or anything else, then you take that off as well. For me, this is ugly on the bottom. I don't want that in my juice. You'll see why in a minute. But I've already got a big pan that I have cut up. Didn't think you wanted to watch me cut the entire pan of tomatoes up, but we have been very blessed with the amount of tomatoes that we've had so far this year. Alrighty. Now I'm going to show you where the fun begins. We've got all of our tomatoes cut up for the juice. Okay, back in the day, your grandma used to blanch the tomato, peel the skin off, throw it in a pot, and cook it down forever, and then have to strain it, do all kinds of stuff. Well, I don't do that. I have found a much faster and easier way. Let me show you my juicer. I've had this for a long time, and I've used it for lots of things. But my absolute favorite thing to do with this is to make tomato juice. This may get a little loud, but just watch. How easy is this? Can you see all that tomato juice coming out? Look at that spout. That is probably 3 or 4 tomatoes. I am almost at a quart of juice already. Flip that off. It is a little loud. And flip my little spout up. Now look. Yes, it's a little pink. It'll get darker. The color of your tomatoes and the variety of tomatoes, of course, does have to do with the color of the juice. But as you'll notice right here, I have a glass top stove. That is what was in this house when we bought it, but you cannot can on it. What I did was I put a gas stove in over here. It might not look the best. A lot of people would probably never put something like that in their kitchen since they already have a stove, but I'm not most people. To me, it's functional, and that's what I'm going to do. So I have a pot sitting here. I'm going to pour my tomato juice in here, and I'm going to come back over, and we're going to repeat the process. This is a really good thing for kids to help with. Jackson, do you want to help?
Yeah.
First of all, do you have clean hands? Okay, you washed your hands. Okay. So put my spout back down. Turn my juicer back on. Okay. It doesn't matter, just grab a couple of tomatoes and put in there. Put them in there. One at a time. Go ahead and put another one in there.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Okay. Do you like to make tomato juice?
Yes. One. That got that easy.
Yeah. Alright, you guys get the idea. So let me work up some more of these and I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Okay, those of you who are familiar with using a juicer know that sometimes it gets clogged up. On the inside you'll have some things that are thicker or maybe a little piece of skin or something like that. I have my son's butter knife from whenever he was a baby. It's perfect for this. I get the butter knife, I put it right here on the little black rubber thing in there. Then I just move it around, and that way whatever is in there drains out. Because if you don't, it'll start gushing down the sides, on both sides. Ask me how I know. Yeah, I've had it happen more than once. And whenever you're doing tomatoes, you have to do that every so often. Oops, here it is again. Just move it around, and out it comes. To me, it's no big deal. You just have to pay a little bit of attention, but for the time saving, it's well worth dealing with that. So, there we go. Haha. Okay.
That's not old enough to use that knife. That's
Well, it's a butter knife. Put it in there. One more.
There we go.
Okay. No, I'll use the butter knife on there, okay?
I'm gonna go finish eating.
Okay.
Pause, please, sit down. What he does? What he does? What he does?
Here we go. And I'll bring this back. That way I can put the top of my juicer in there here in just a second. I'm going to get tomato juice all over the place. Alright, I think we got everything out of that. So let's flip it up. Woo! That's a nice little blooper that you don't want to do. Wait until it totally stops before you open it. Alright. See all of this right here? And this right here? Okay. I'm going to knock this back down into my storage tub right here. Some of you guys may already do this far to this step. But what I'm going to do next is something that I've never seen anybody else do. And to me, it just makes a lot of sense. Okay. See this tub right here? And all the skins and pulp and seeds that are in there? Hang around. I'll show what we're going to do here in just a minute. Okay. I use the juicer. Now I'm going to use another favorite kitchen tool. I love my gadgets, guys. I'm using my NutraBullet RX. I know it sounds a little crazy, but it works. Okay, I showed you all that pulp, which is up to right here. That is a lot of pulp. So I'm going to take all this, well, not all of it at one time, but over the course of 2 or 3 blendings, put it in here, and it's going to chop it up super, super fine, and I'm going to dump it in my tomato juice. That gives me a very thick, rich juice, plus it adds a lot more volume. Okay. I did keep this last cup of juice from the juicer. Poured it up to the maximum line. I'll probably cut while this is on here because it does get loud. But I'm just going to put it on here tightly. And when the process finishes, I'm going to take it off, give it a second, and put it back on. I run it through 2 complete cycles. That way it gets the seeds down to almost nothing. They will actually fit through a fine sieve. Alright, I want you to look how thick this is. Okay, now watch as I pour this into the pot. See how much depth just one of these added? Most people throw that away. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to continue. I have about 2 more cycles of that to go. So let's get that done. And then we'll be back and do the next step. Okay, we've got our tomato skins already in the pot over there heating up. I'm putting a teaspoon of salt into a clean quart jar. They came out of the dishwasher just a bit ago. And I'm also putting 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Why lemon juice? Because different tomatoes have different levels of acidity, and this just helps prevent them from going bad. You do not want to put all the time and effort into growing the tomatoes, picking the tomatoes, doing all this work to preserve the tomatoes, and then have to toss them. It's just not worth it. But while that heats up, I'm going to run do a couple of errands, and then I'll show this to you as it goes into the jars. Alright, our tomato juice has come up to a boil, and it's been boiling for about 15 minutes. So all of those different variety of tomatoes has blended together. I prepped my jars a little bit ago with my lemon juice and my canning salt. I don't remember if I said canning salt a bit ago, but you need to use either canning salt or like the pink sea salt, anything that is non-iodized. Iodine will make it turn cloudy. We don't want that. So I have my funnel, my canning funnel right here. I could use a traditional ladle, which a lot of people use whenever they can. I don't have time to sit and ladle probably 10 ladles full into my jar. I got a small saucepan. Hey guys, it works. Anything that you can do to make it a little bit quicker and to help you out some, right? That's what I think. Okay. So I just get a pot of this. Pour it in there. Get just a little bit more. Leave about an inch headspace. I just set that over in my next jar. That way I don't get the mess everywhere. And always when you're canning, wipe off the lid of the jar. That way you do not have to worry about something being between the rubber on the lid and the jar and it not sealing. I have my lid sitting right here in a pot of warm water. Back in the day, you used to have to boil your lids. You don't have to do that anymore. So, you put that on there. Finger tight. And then you put it over in your canner. I have my water preheating. I have it on low. My canner will hold 7 quarts. So we continue doing this until we have 7 quarts in there, and then we process. Alright, I've got my jars in my water bath canner, and I have got it filled up with water, and we have limestone water, so anytime that I can anything, I put white vinegar in my water. That way I don't have all that white buildup on the outside of my jars, because that looks ugly. But we're going to let them sit there, come up to a boil, and boil for around 30 minutes, and then we'll take them out, and I'll show you what they look like when they come out of the canner. Alrighty. Oh, look how pretty. It's been 30 minutes since those came up to a boil after I put them in my water bath canner. That is some beautiful juice. Nice, thick, and I love it. I got 7 quarts and 3 pints out of that batch of tomatoes. It won't be long until they'll start sealing, and you're going to hear all kinds of pops. Hopefully that'll do. That'll start doing that before we end the video. But we use a lot of tomato juice in our house. My kids absolutely love eating macaroni and tomato juice. So I would much rather have the tomato juice from the organic tomatoes that I grow. That way I know exactly what they have. We use it for drinking. We use it for making soups and stews, chilies, taco soups. You name it. But there you go. That is the end result of, to me, the best way in the world to make tomato juice. What do you guys think? How do you make your tomato juice? Do you make it like Grandma and do all the steps that I talked about in the beginning of the video? If you do, if you have a juicer and a NutriBullet, or even just a NutriBullet, throw them in there, run them through 2 or 3 times. Give it a try, because I guarantee this is a whole lot easier than what your grandma used to do. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video.